What I want to talk about is just some quick, not too much theory today right away, but 1, 3, 5, C major. It's very important that you do it too, that you actually try it. So C major, I'm doing it with this particular fingering. You could do it like this if you want to, whatever's comfortable. And then to know your formulas, you got to flat your 3, make it minor. Okay, that's C minor. C diminished would be this, you flat your 5th. Notice my finger just went flat here because I kind of like to do this a lot. It's kind of bluesy. Little blues lick there in C minor type of thing. That flat 5 is a very bluesy note. I'm a little out of tune. I'm going to retune. This guitar is adjusting. It hasn't been used in a while. But this is C major, C minor, C dim. Go back to C major. Now you want to sharp the 5, and that's C augmented. So what I'm getting at is that, yes, I really do feel like it's important to know your formulas. 1, 3, sharp 5 is C augmented. So now when you go up one more note, I call that C6 in this example, but it can also be called what? Yeah, if you put the, exactly, put the A in the bass. Now it's just A minor. So this is all very important to me, just like understanding how, you know, things can have multiple names and harmonic is often the choice name. But in this case, this is not true. This is not even a true C6. There's no G, so it really is an A minor inversion. If you go up one, but I'm thinking of it in context by showing it to you this way. It's C6, C major, C aug, C6. If you go up one more, C7. And it's just a 3-note version of C7. We are actually omitting the 5th. The 5th is down here. But there, now it's a C7. A 3-note shape. If you go up one more, it's just a 3-note version, a triad version of C major 7. But if you put A in the bass, you might say, ooh, that's an A minor 9 chord. Exactly. So again, it's very important that you think about these connections. I've done this before. A suspended, sus means suspended. You take your 3rd and you go up a half step. Very pretty sound. Sounds like an 80s pop song. You know. That's sus4. Well, here's a sus2. So the sus2 means there's no 3rd. Instead, you're replacing it. You're suspending the 3rd with the 2. The 2 is a whole step below the 3. So here's a sus2, sus4, major. A sus chord, by the way, is neither major nor minor, but it could be used in place of a major or minor, or it could be used as a substitute for major or minor, just to get some cool flavors. So here's a sus4, sus2, minor. So, you know, you could do this. Just to create some movement, and then go to major. So again, things like that are very unique. Oh, how about thinking outside the box a little bit? Look at where my pinky is. That's a, I love these chords here. This is a sharp 11 or sharp 4. So I took the 3rd, I went to the 4, and I went up one more. It's kind of a stretch, so don't hurt yourself. And if I put an A in the bass, now I have to think about it. It's an A minor because we have that C natural. We have that F sharp, which is a 6, and we have your flat 7. So it's an A minor 7 with the 6 or 13, you can call it. Again, you know, these are going to be some really cool chord voicings. Just by thinking your simple triad, you'll be able to say, oh, what if I do this? Ooh, what if I do a major with a flat 5? So here's major, flat your 5th. I love that as an ending chord. So check it out. If I'm in D key of C major and I have a 2-5-1, then I might go C in the bass just so you can hear the bass player. But that's kind of very introspective. That could be called C major flat 5, which you can see I'm just flatting the 5th, or it could even be called sharp 11 if you want to kind of get into the jazz name. A sharp 11 chord generally, however, because you're calling it an 11, generally should have a major 7th degree in there. So that's why I'd rather just call it a C major with a flat 5. Beautiful colors again, just coming from triads. You know, listen to it again with A in the bass. Why am I choosing A in relation to C? A is because that's the relative minor. So pretty much whatever you play for C major, you can play for A minor. And that's why, so check it out here. That's C major triad with the A in the bass is A minor 7. And then when you do that flat here, that's actually now the 6. And now on to that 9. So again, what I'm just mainly trying to show you is just how much fun you can have with triads, and especially once you know how to modify the triads so that you get some of these other really cool flavors. I actually would suggest doing the same thing on the shape here. C sus4, C sus2, C add 9, C. And if you go down from the root, that's C major 7. Sorry, I'm going fast here. If everyone can try this out. Here's a C shape. Just a plain old triad. 3rd, 5th, root. I'm going to name it out. C add 9. What we're going to do is take the 8 and go to the 9 instead. So again, you know, very pretty sounding. You might go. C major 7. But you might say, isn't that just what? What is this? It's a minor triad. Which one? I'll put the bass in there for you. Yeah, John. Good, yeah, sign language. E minor. So again, this is very useful. If you go... Again, I'm imagining like I'm playing some swing and the band's playing C. And I'm thinking E minor. So again, these little triad things, that could be used a lot in Western swing style, especially where you have just a lot of these triadic type of things. So, but I love that style actually. And it's great on the guitar. It really lays well under your fingers just to slide these. You might say, isn't that just an E minor triad? Yes, but again, in context, with a little bit of theory, you actually know that it's being applied as a C major 7 chord. Same thing with A minor. So you could do this, and then slide it up here. That's A minor. Sorry, I'm gonna tune here. Give me a second. But just slide that one shape, I'll show you what I mean. And this gets into, I wish Dave was here, because Dave was talking last time about how to do some chord melody style things, which is, you know, what this class is about, solo guitar / chord melody, in some swing style. And in that case, these triads, you know, just moving them around is very important because they're so easy to play and you can always add notes on. And then, but really what's beautiful about it is how mobile they are, the shapes. They're not big 7th chords where you have to, you know, navigate all 4 fingers. But C major 7 is C, E, G, B. Their E, G, B is E minor. See, so that's why you could do the E minor triad because it's part of the major 7 chord. C6 is C, E, G, A. A, C, E equals A minor. So it's in that C6 chord. So this is why it's so, and we love minor chords. We love minor shapes, minor inversions. So just by thinking about E minor, E minor, E minor, A minor, A minor, it almost sounds like I'm playing minor swing there, but this would all be played against the band playing a C6. You could go A minor, E minor against the C6. And the band might even be doing something like this. A little walk down or something. You could go. So I went A minor, E minor, A minor, E minor. You know, I'm just having fun mixing and matching these colors. Give it a try. I'll give you some C6 in the background. Here, if you want, do this with me first. A minor, A minor, A minor, and A minor. And if you don't know that, I recommend that you look at that worksheet I sent today, actually, the A minor little E7 flat 9 minor swing study that has those minor triad shapes. But I also recommend just take note and say, ooh, I got to work on my triads on the top 3 strings. A minor, E minor. And one thing that's really fun and easy to do is to take that one shape and go E minor, A minor, E minor, A minor. What other shape did I not do yet? E minor, A minor. You know what I mean? I'm just sliding it. So you have to kind of memorize those. But play with just one shape. It's not like you have to go through all of them. You can just... And I'm doing a lot of little side slipping. Da, da, dum, da, dum. You'll hear that a lot. Side slipping means you want to start from a half step, usually below, but it could be above. It just creates some chromatic movement. Piano players, horn sections, arrangers use this technique a lot. 1, 2, 3, 4, C. And yeah, just think about the colors you're getting. You know, just major 7, 6, major 7, 6, you know, or 6, sorry. And on that worksheet, I know that I just sent it out today, but you can also use this stuff for your leads. I won't go into this because that's not what this class is about. It's more about just learning your chords really well. So I just wanted to start off with that. And also I'm going to take a look here. What my goal here with you in this whole study is to be able to look at a melody note. Learn, you know, you got to learn the melody, and I generally recommend staying on the top strings, the top 2 strings, usually for chord melody. This is just general, but generally the chord melody style is up on the higher strings. And I'm being very general about that again, but that's what that's what pops out at the ears, the first string or the second string. It's more trebly in the soprano voice. Let me take a look here. I'm actually just going to look now. If you guys just want to take a look, I just sent this out earlier, the answer, kind of, you know, again, to the Star Spangled Banner. Oh, did I not? Wait. Oh, yeah, no, I did send that out. I said more stuff. Hopefully you got that about an hour ago. I was like, oh, well, I should send you the answer so you can actually have it, not just kind of watch. But I want you to actually do it with me here just to go through this process. This, again, is a triad study. We could jazz it up if we wanted to and play, you know, 4-note voicings or fatter voicings, filling in the bass. But this is just a quick study here. And it's a melody we all know. So we have the just single notes, first of all. C major, just inversions. It's just a study. Then the G major. And this is my harmonization of it. I fancied it up a little bit toward the end there. Everybody's going to play differently. I've seen some very simple versions, and I've seen some really complex versions. Mine's kind of in the middle. And then A minor. Okay. So again, here's the performance of it. And so I want to talk about this E7. It's exactly what I showed you earlier. Here's the E major triad. Here's a 6. Here's the flat 7. And here's actually the root. That's why I chose that one. So again, you know, we can use this shape. It's a really friendly shape. A minor, D7, which is just it's actually a diminished triad. You all know this shape anyways, just a cowboy D7, but here's the full D7. So there's actually no root. It's just an F sharp dim, and then to the G major. So if you want to play that with me. And then right here, I added the flat 7 in. So I want to talk about this. Here's G, here's G major triad, 3rd, 5th root. Here's augmented. Here's 6. Sounds like a nice cliche happening here. And then a flat 7, the dominant 7. So that's why I added that flat 7, the F natural in there. What's so? And then way up to the C major triad. Of course, it looks like our D shape. I hope you know that, of course. It's G, just triads. And then here I harmonized it with an A minor, with the A note. Just for movement, C major, and C major. Again, this is such a great, simple study to make sure that you know your C major triads. So don't look at the music, but here's C, 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 C. Again, if you don't know that, this is a great study. You'll learn your C major triads, but take this concept on to all of me. As a triad study or whatever swing tune you enjoy playing, the concept still applies. Okay, basically it repeats whose broad stripes and bright stars. We can skip that. And the rockets. Let's go to page 2, measure 17 here. I do something just a little bit different here. So what I did there is I just held this one shape, like this. Off on the high end. And then I kicked into this C, E, G, just an octave higher. If you don't have a cutaway, sorry about that too. There's that sus4. I didn't label it like that, but it's C sus4, G, C, and then here's that same G7 we talked about earlier. And then G7, I'm doing like this. Again, if you don't have a cutaway, sorry, that's why I grabbed this guitar. Here's G major, but you take the root, and that's G7. As a triad, it's really B diminished. B diminished is contained in the C major. Sorry, I know there's a lot of theory here. C major, same stuff here, just triads. We did this. Same materials, G7. And then here I wanted to create a little bit of movement. So instead of just doing C, the same note 3 times, I wanted to do this little kind of a riff type of, adding some movement. So that's what's happening there on Say Does That. And then a quick G7 there. I should have labeled that as G7F. And then this, A7. So here's A major triad. Here's A augmented. Yes, I'm going to go through this since this is what we began with. Here's A6. Here's A7. It's kind of a cool shape. As a 3-note shape, there's no 5th in there. And then here's this little kind of a nod to Django. So I actually want to break that down. D minor triad. And for the A7, I'm using this diminish trick, and that's on that worksheet I just sent out to you today. Pretty much there's YouTube videos for everything, so you can always go back to YouTube if you're like, oh, I want to know what this sounds like, just even for my solo arrangement. So that's why I'm sending a lot of stuff out, just so I could hit different topics. And then if you like something in particular, you might say, ooh, I want to hear his version of, well, Dave's not here today, but What a Wonderful World. You can go back and listen to my arrangement on YouTube and check it out. And that's a very important concept. That's just D minor. But instead of just staying on D minor, you can add some movement by going 1, 5, 1, 5, 1. Basically like this, D minor, A7, D minor, A7, back and forth. Even though the chart, this is true for jazz standards, even though the chart might just say D minor, you could go D minor, A7, 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 and get a lot of movement there, melodic movement or harmonization. But I do want you to note that for A7, I'm not just playing A7, but I'm playing a diminished 7 substitution. But it's really just a triad in this case, this shape. Just like you're playing D7 down here, how I mentioned oh, that's just an F sharp diminished triad. Well, that shape can, because of the nature, and I think most of you know this, the nature of a diminished seventh chord is you can slide it around every 3 frets. It's the same distance, so that's why you could do this. You know, on the A7 chord. They can have 4 different names of the diminished there. But that's what's happening there, and we'll go on too much further. That D minor, A7, it should be called flat 9, technically, when you use a diminished trick. D minor, A7, flat 9, D minor. And then here, just for tension, I wanted a C dim to C. And I like that. It's very old school. Like that, create that little bit of tension. And then G. And now I'm using the G7 to create that dominant 7. And then I wrote G7 here, but I'm just doing a G triad, just so you know. And then G7 here. And then C. Let me see what I wrote here, just to make sure. And then freely, slowing down, that is. And then, let me see. I'm not sure if I like that, but that's okay. It's just a sus. Here's A minor. That was sus 4, sus 2, A minor. It's good. You can grab these little melodic notes. And then C, home. We're almost done. And then for an ending here, I wanted to go sus 4, kind of a pop style. C, C sus 2, then C. So that was this. Little pedal steel country. But you get the idea, just, you know, instead of just ending right on C, delayed cadence there. The Lady Gaga version, they did a little jazzy. They did a D flat major 7. Well, they weren't in this key, but it would be equivalent to that. That's a very common jazz style. And then resolve. Okay. D flat major 7, that's a deceptive cadence, like a half step by going a half step above. You have sorry, I'll backtrack. And the home. And then right here, instead of resolving it to C, how it would be in the book, D flat major 7 with the major 7 on top. And then C. Maybe a C add 9. And then get the bass in there to fatten it up. You all know that chord. So, you know, I'm trying to show you a lot of the tricks. Substitutions, alternate choices, because that's how you, we want to learn those. We want to master those subs, those tricks, so that so we could basically think simply. I know it seems convoluted, but we want to be able to play simple things, but it sounds hip just by understanding how a lot of those things work.